The universe is saying today to you, no matter what you're going through right now, the pain, the fear, the confusion, it may feel overwhelming, but in the grand scheme of things, this moment, this struggle, is just a fleeting ripple in the vast ocean of your existence. And this too shall pass, my friend. You are not your suffering. You're not your circumstances. You're not the temporary chaos around you. What this painting that I'm sharing today with you will remind you is that you are what stars are made of. But at the same time, you're an infinite traveler, journeying not just through space, but through time, through consciousness, having different realizations and sometimes moments of chaos. You are the awareness behind the experience. You're the breath behind the storm. Think back to a moment in your past, a time that felt impossible, a moment where you thought, I will never get through this. I remember there was a time when I had a job that I really hated. I've shared that with you in my previous video, and back at that job I felt like this will never be over. I felt, being there for 8 hours, I hated that job. Every single time the time was moving so slow, and I knew I will have to work it for 1 year because I borrowed money and I knew that the only way to pay off, that's what I knew back at that time, is to work there for 1 year. The time went so slow, and every time I needed to go at that job, I hated it. And I was just waiting when it will be over, and I thought I will never get through this. But yet, here we are. Here we are today. So think about a moment where you thought you will never get through this. But yet, here you are. That moment passed, right? Just as this one will. Emotions rise and fall like waves. Situations come and go. Nothing is permanent. Suffering feels endless only when we forget that all things are in motion. Beneath the noise of life, beneath your name, your story, your identity, there is something more. You're the cosmos, my friend, embodied. The same stardust that swirls in distant galaxies flows through your veins. You're not just the universe is in you. You are the consciousness observing itself, ever evolving, ever expanding. Your soul knows no boundaries, no beginning, no end. Of course, this perspective doesn't remove the pain that you feel, but it does remind you you're not alone. You never were. What navigates the movement of planets and stars also navigates your life. Earth never stops spinning. Every single day you expect the sun to come up because it's nature's design. And sometimes you feel you're separated from this design and you feel you're alone, but you're not. There's design for your path. Sure, you can manifest and alter things in your life, but the universe always has your back and always supports you. And what's your job in this journey is to get reminded of what I'm reminding you more frequently. So how do we navigate hard days? How do we remember the vastness within when we feel so small? Well, here are a few reminders for you. Pause and breathe. Yeah, simple as that. When you feel overwhelmed, stop. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel the present moment. This breath connects you to all of existence. When you slow down through breathing, there's the second thing you can do. Zoom out. Visualize your life from space. See the earth, then your city, then your body. Your problems shrink in the light of eternity. And that's when you can do the third thing. Affirm the truth. Say it out loud or write it down. This too shall pass. I am infinite. I am held by the universe. Then the fourth step, to find stillness, just maybe 5 minutes of silence a day. No screens, no distractions. Let the noise fall away so the infinite can rise. And then the fifth step that will help you when you have a hard day is to serve someone. To shift your focus, ask yourself, who can I uplift today? Even a small act of kindness realigns your soul with the bigger picture, and also gives you a sense that you are important in someone else's life, and that you matter, and that you are valuable. Because sometimes when we have a hard day, we forget, we feel nothing matters anymore. That's why it's so important to just find a way to help someone else. So be reminded, my friend, you're not broken. You are becoming. Every hardship chisels away what you're not, revealing the radiant truth of who you are. You're light wrapped in form, but you're also darkness that is discovering itself. That's why you shouldn't be afraid of feeling the dark parts of you and the wild nature of yours. It's both what creates wholeness. Your eternity that is just passing through a human moment. And in one sense, you could say your entire life is just one short moment once you live it. And when you're here, it feels like it's a never-ending struggle sometimes. That's why it's so important to change the perspective, in a sense, how I'm sharing it to you today. A very mystical one that reminds you that actually, if you detach from small things, you recognize that you are everything. There's a part of you that knows that you are everything and that you are whole. Maybe wholeness in parts that are finding a way to come together once again. Like a glass would fall into the ground and shatter, and slowly you start putting these pieces back together, glue them together, and you will see scars make it more unique. It almost becomes like an artwork. So remember this, my friend, the traveler, this too shall pass. And the you that remains has always been infinite. So, as I mentioned before, practice 5 minutes of silence a day, maybe 10. Write down this affirmation. Write it in the comment section so other people can see it. This too shall pass. I am the universe experiencing itself. For a moment, just ask yourself, how does it make you feel? Do one small act of kindness today, no matter how small. And return to this video whenever you forget who you are. I know that this perspective may not change much when it comes to troubles or some turbulent moments, but it can remind you that sometimes you shouldn't take things too seriously, because eventually you will move through them. You will experience wins and breakthroughs, and then you will look back and you will laugh at yourself how much of panic or fear or frustration you've experienced. And at the same time, you will feel grateful because you will notice that you've been fighting so much for something that was not even your battle. And you've been forcing yourself to win in areas that were outdated. Or you've been trying to climb the wrong mountain and you were not able to see that new doors have opened that are taking you to whole new directions. So that's why it's important to practice silence, to step away from all the happening and remind yourself that you are the universe having a human experience, that you're this infinite force that can also play and can also have joy and can also move through fears with more ease, because, well, doesn't matter how negative a situation can be, it's not the end of you, because, well, it's a part of you, and you just can't lose yourself because you are everything. Doesn't matter how dark the experience is, you will never lose yourself, and it can't break you, because infinity can't be broken. It can only forget what it is, as you can forget who you are. So may this message remind you, and today's painting, a painting of galaxy, remind you that it's like a mirror, like you would look into the mirror and you would see the galaxy. That was the purpose of this painting when I've painted it. I've written with it, may this painting remind you that no matter what you're going through, in the grand scheme of things, it is just a fleeting moment in eternity. This too shall pass. You're an infinite traveler, journeying through galaxies while simultaneously embodying the entire cosmos that has always been with you. So, I hope this message today brought to you a bit more of energy that can allow you to see the present situation from different perspective. And remind yourself, you are the manifester. So take responsibility for your reality. When there are things that are not aligned with you, it means there are programs inside of you that are not allowing you to manifest it in a greater way. So many times we experience something, so we would learn from it that there are beliefs inside of us that are reflecting in the world outside of us. And it is teaching us to change them, to change our way of thinking and looking at life. And sometimes we make our life so busy that we get exhausted, and then we try to force reality to change, while reality is reminding us to slow down and recharge, so we can take charge of our lives once again and recognize that we just can't do everything. So let's focus on something that's the most important to us. That's where we learn the art of prioritizing, where we remind ourselves that it's not our job to take care of everything, to take care of your job and career and your family and so many other things. Sometimes we need to simplify our lives and remind ourselves that some people can take care of themselves. And then you focus on what you truly want to take care of. Prioritizing tasks in your life. So rather than being exhausted, you start to feel more fulfilled once again. You ask yourself, what activities would fulfill me? And you prioritize them. You discipline yourself the way, or you structure your lifestyle the way that you can do more of that. And eventually you may notice, oh, I don't have enough time for everything. So you start cutting out what doesn't bring you as much fulfillment as these new activities. And that's when the real change starts happening, because now you've put yourself onto the pedestal instead of getting something or receiving something. So you focused on becoming fulfilled instead of receiving something to be fulfilled. And that is a big difference, because once you become fulfilled, because you've started doing something that fulfills you, that's when magic starts happening in your life. And I feel this is very deep. So I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. To anyone who would like to get this kind of a reminder, you can get a print of this painting on AttractPassion.com, or the link in the description of this video. Type in the search bar, the universe, and you will find it. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know how this message touched you today in the comment section, and see you in the next one. One love.